Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
First this morning, a rare insight into life in gang culture in Britain. Lucy Martindale is 26 years of age and grew up in Brixton in South London, surrounded by gangs. 10 members of her family or friends have been killed as a result of gang violence. She experiences, she says, post-traumatic stress disorder. And she wanted to investigate the impact those kind of brutal, senseless deaths have on people's mental health. This is her take on it. She's been to meet long-standing gang members for this film.
The year went by that someone didn't die. That was a good year because you haven't lost someone.
Everyone goes through patches. Now, some people are sadder than others for much longer.
When I do sleep, I would have dreams about that same night, about that same day when my friend was killed.
We are labelling you with this disease. You are diagnosed with this. Take this tablet. And now you're taking these tablets, it has messed you up.
And then you wake up and sad reality hits you, and it hits you hard.
I've had sleep problems ever since for the past 5 years, to the point I've needed to take medication. I was born in Brixton, lived there till I was 19. It was quiet, a nice estate until I got to about 10 years old, and that's when gangs first started I become aware of them. It was Sunday afternoon, playing out in the park, loads of other people around, and 3 or 4 gang members come along, and there was a fight that broke out, and then all of a sudden, chaos. I see my cousin on the floor with a screwdriver in his head, and he died later on in hospital. And suddenly, that's when I learnt about this life I didn't know existed, and always getting a call or just hearing months later or sometimes immediately, depending, that someone else has been killed that I know, and it just made me more and more sad. And that's when I started to get depression. A lot of deaths that have happened is people I grew up with. Not all of them I was with all the time or spoke to, but they were my friends growing up in the same neighbourhood. And then if a year went by that someone didn't die, that was a good year because you haven't lost someone. The one that sticks in my mind was a young boy, he was 15 years old, named Zach. I got a ping on my BlackBerry at the time to say he'd been killed. I was just so upset, depressed, couldn't sleep. It was just really sad for me. Something could trigger off a memory, even going past the area. Someone saying something just brings flashbacks, and I've had sleep problems ever since for the past 5 years, to the point I've needed to take medication. First time with the mental health services, I was roughly around 14, 15. I was given tablets, 1 counselling session, then another death happened, then you feel worse, and then the killings just keep going on, and in the end, I just felt like I was going to have a breakdown. I'm 26 now, and each year since I was 12, a friend or relative of mine has died. In London, this type of violence is more likely to affect my community, the young black inner city community. So I wanted to speak to gang members to ask them how they think this level of violence impacts on their mental health. It was difficult to get them to talk to us, but we found two that would agree.
Remember, people are not depressed, you know. Everyone goes through patches. We go through highs, we go through lows. We go through money, then we go through being broke. Do you understand what I'm saying? So everyone goes through patches. Now, some people are sadder than others for much longer. Maybe I'm stronger in mind frame than he is. So he's gonna be sadder for 3 more days than me. But what it is now, you'll go to the doctors and they will just say, yes, we are labeling you with this disease. You are diagnosed with this. Take this tablet. And now you're taking these tablets, it has messed you up completely. And then you wanna label him a madman. It's crazy. You adapt to your surroundings. So it does affect people, innit? A lot of situations affect people. Some cases, a minority, it's been wrong place, wrong time, or it hasn't been premeditated. Maybe the fight broken out and then a bottle was broken and then someone was stabbed. Do you know what I'm saying?
You think people stab out of fear?
I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, some people do go out there and they want to go and kill people. Like, this is my motive, you're dying tonight. But what I'm saying to you is now, in other circumstances, it could have started from a fight.
What's going on there?
We'll be pretty quick.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
What up, man? Saying well, man, filming him in the block, innit?
Yeah, alright, cool.
Obviously, man, just saying move from the block, it's anything, innit?
You get me, fam? Man's got problems out here. Man can't just have man posted like that. I don't know who it is. I know who you are now. It's cool. It's over.
Yeah, it's all crazy right now because I'm not even answering that question. I'm answering the question that just happened just now. There could have been a situation now, but I'm not that stupid, innit? But obviously, I felt like I was being disturbed. I'm not doing nothing incriminated. If I was doing something incriminating and a man told me, rah, you're doing something incriminating around there, you know, my people don't live around there, such and such, that's different, innit? I'm not doing nothing incriminating, so if anything, man's disturbing me.
The altercation showed us how quickly a situation could escalate into violence, which is something that often leads to a death or serious injury. I came to meet Junior, who had personal experience of this when he was a boy.
I was never in a gang, but at the same time, I was, to some extent, influenced by gangs because of some of the situations that I was in.
Could you tell me what happened when you was at school?
It was the last day of our GCSEs, and we was being kids on the last day, you know, like writing on each other's tops, water balloons, eggs, being silly, whatnot. Then, like, a fight broke out between 2 of my friends. Next thing I knew, like, one of my friends just collapsed and fell on the floor, and we're like, huh? And he's holding onto his neck gasping and trying to breathe. And we're like, what's going on? And then we saw like the holes and stuff like that. Oh my God, he's been stabbed, sort of thing. So it was all surrounding him, trying to keep him alive, mouth to mouth, holding his hand, just telling him, bruv, just breathe with us, don't go, bruv, just stay with us, sort of thing.
What is it like to witness something like that?
Well, it's almost indescribable. It's like 1 minute you're just being a kid and thinking the world is my oyster, I'm never gonna die, I love life, life is fun and games. Next thing, it's like, hold on, this only happens in movies, man. You know, this ain't meant to happen to us. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's horrible, man. It's really traumatic, and it puts a lot of anger in your heart. It's like I would have sleepless nights, or when I do sleep, I would have dreams about that same night, about that same day when my friend was killed. But I would have, my nightmares would be like, rather than him dying, he survived it, or somehow I was able to prevent it, and then we laughed about it afterwards, and then I managed to make them two make up. And then you wake up and sad reality hits you, and it hits you hard. for me, personally, it made me less afraid to die. I'm more ready for death. I was a lot more hot-tempered, Like, I never, like, I reacted violently to a lot of situations that could have been resolved with just a good talking to, telling them about themselves. But I realised I kind of lost control of my emotions. We got into a lot of altercations and into a lot of trouble because we was finding it hard to deal with the aftermath of losing someone and actually seeing that. Even though someone might say, hold on, what's your friend Dan got to do with you robbing people with guns and stuff like that? It's because we're angry, we're hurting. At the time, it was just like, life is short and somebody can take it. And before I let you take me out, I'm gonna take you out. Because I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
When you went to prison, did the police, prison officers or probation offer you any help for your medical needs?
But I wouldn't say I was offered any help, no.
So what about your friends? Did you all talk about the way that you felt?
Yeah, we more or less counselled each other, although in terms of like my flashbacks and the dreams I have and things like that, I never did speak to them about that. When I was younger, I would have liked to have had opportunities where I can channel my feelings, whether it's through music, through art, through mathematics. So I think there needs to be more in place to actually support these youngsters with their dreams. Because if no one's there to actually stimulate these youngsters, the streets will stimulate you.
I wanted to speak to those in authority, the government, the mayor's office and the police, but nobody would agree to an interview. I do know from the people that did speak to me that I'm not alone in my experience. The treatment I would have liked to receive more than anything, I suppose, is having someone to talk to often, counselling, because when it's your family, it's such a hard thing to all sit there and talk about. Someone giving you the time and showing that they're there to listen and care what you have to say. But when people feel that no one cares, that's when people get angry and they just make bad decisions, I think. Anything can happen to you. You could end up killing yourself or being killed, especially these young men that need help, but they're too ashamed to ask for the help.
If you have witnessed gang violence, tell me what you have seen and the impact it's had on you and those around you. And I will read out some of your contributions after 10 o'clock this morning. Some comments from people already who were watching that film just a moment ago. Bear with me, sorry, I just need to get my emails up. John on Facebook says, are you wanting us to feel sorry for them or something? What about the ex-military who suffer from PTSD because they have served their country, whereas these Muppets just want to look tough to their mates? James on Twitter says, absolutely horrendous. I saw the same when I lived in the USA. And Brenda on Twitter says, gangs are sometimes helped by certain laws. Making life difficult for poorer people helps gangs earn money. We need a big rethink.